Can you hear me? Hope you can hear me. This is Brad. Welcome to the Bad Show. I'm Brad because who else would I be? uh, I haven't done one of these in a little while. I had wanted originally to do these once a week, but then I realized that sometimes things just don't happen and interesting topics don't come up, so I just do them now whenever I feel like there's enough to talk about. So that's how this is going to kind of go going forward. And there's no reason to listen to me talk for an hour about nothing. So, anyway, I'll bring up a couple of little changes you might notice. If you can see through the blurry image, Mixer is now no more, so I trimmed that out of the viewer count. It says I have one viewer. I think that was me because I had my Twitch page open from where I was trying to change the settings. So now it's just Twitch and YouTube. That's how it was at first anyway, when I first started streaming last year. I added a subscriber goal for my YouTube subs. Currently sitting at 17 subscribers on YouTube. Thanks to some Killer Instinct videos I uploaded, so that was nice. I got 3 subscribers in one day. Hadn't had that happen before. So, thanks to everybody who subbed to the channel. I'm definitely hoping I can, keep it growing, keep more stuff coming. And, I mean, I've got plenty of gameplay footage recorded and plenty of videos I've already got, ready to upload. I think I've got like almost 50 private videos on YouTube. I'm trying to do like themes for every week, like or of one game, because I think those are more interesting. But it just depends on how I feel. So this week was a week of Killer Instinct videos where I was doing ranked mode in that, trying to get to gold. Next week, actually it went live as I came on as the show started running live. Today and tomorrow, you can watch me play Facebreaker KO Party, which is a Wii game. And actually, I played it on the Wii because I don't have my Xbox. My Xbox is put away. My old Xbox 360 is put away. That's the original version of that game I played, and I beat that game. Very, very different though. I say it's very different. Controlling the fight with the Wii U remote, the Wii remote, and the nunchuck and all that. That's very, very different than playing it on just a controller for the Xbox. Plus, there's a little weird mini game for whenever you get knocked down in the ring. You have to. It's like some little weird target shooting game with like birds and all. It's really weird, and it's just, I don't like it. I'd rather just, if I get knocked down, let me get back up, until I get hit, because the way that game works is if you get knocked down 3 times, you're automatically out. It's a TKO. And if somebody hits their Facebreaker signature move on you, that's an instant KO. So, anyway. But subscriber goal is set at 25. If I hit 25 subs on YouTube, I'm going to do a pacifist run in Fortnite. And what that will be like is I'm going to just play some Fortnite rounds for a new 5 minutes of Fortnite video. And it will be without me collecting any weapons. It's just to see how far I can get, because I'm usually pretty good at hiding and staying out of the fights in Fortnite and lasting a good while. But I want to do that. I think that would be a fun little thing to do. Strictly for entertainment, because you can't win. Well, I won't say you can't win Fortnite without, having to actually fight somebody, because I've managed to do that, not like completely pacifist before, but I once did get a battle royale for I ended up on one of the top mountains there, and it was down to like me and one other person, but they got lost in the storm, and so the storm took them out, and I was the only one left, so I won. So that'll be fun to see if I can actually win a game of Fortnite without using any weapons. But it's just a fun little challenge to do if I hit 25 subs. But anyway, speaking of Fortnite, I guess we'll go move on to the first topic, which is kind of an old topic. It's not old. It's what this is from week before last. Not this was from last week, I think. But when Aquaman finally dropped in Fortnite, that was the big reveal for season 3. It got leaked a little bit ahead of time from some data in the game that Black Manta was going to be in the game too. So that happened. Pretty cool. He's got his regular skin, some back bling, and his swords. I picked that up. That was cool. For those of you who don't know, the reason why I want to collect these skins is because I've got an idea for a Deadpool-based show to make basically a machinima. I don't know if I've talked about this on this show before, but anyway, it's gonna be me playing Deadpool and just coming up with goofy, corny things, involving him, and because Deadpool was the reason I got into Fortnite, and I just like the character because I think he's funny. But there's also some other skins I've got. This for I know I've talked about these skins, like the X-Force, Domino, Psylocke, and Cable, and then they did Captain America for July 4th, and then of course the DC skins here with Black Manta and Aquaman. Because I think there's a lot of funny things you could do, and plus there's just the regular standard Fortnite skins I can play around with too. I just hope I can make it funny enough that people will watch it and like it. But that's the goal. So anyway, Black Manta is still in the shop last I checked, which was yesterday. So if you like Fortnite, you want to get Black Manta, it actually is one of the cooler skins I've seen in the game. These guest skins are just, not that the ones that aren't guest skins, the original ones for the game, I've seen plenty of those that are really cool, but just these guest skins, they stand out. They really are. I had a problem at first with the Aquaman skin because it was based on the Hollywood actor, and the only reason I had a problem with it was because it looked a little bit too realistic and like it didn't fit in with the other skins. Like that was my problem. But I've played him both versions. There's 2 different versions of that Aquaman skin, and I actually like it. It's winning me over. It's not bad. Plus, I've got some ideas for what to do with those skins. So, anyway, I like this game. Apparently today is the 3rd anniversary of when Fortnite launched. I saw a random tweet on Twitter mentioning that. I have no idea if that's true or not. Could be. But I have no reason to assume it's not. But anyway, if you want the Black Manta skin, go get that before they take it out of the shop. I assume it's going to stay there. They usually give you a heads up when they're going to pull something out of the shop. So like Captain America's not there anymore. I haven't seen that for Black Manta yet. It may be the case that he hangs around until the end of the season, which the last thing I heard about that or saw was a suggestion that the season ends sometime in August. Probably another 4 weeks maybe. But then I think they extended the last one too, so who knows how long this one will last. Anyway, go get Black Manta. It's a cool skin. So next topic was one that happened right after the last show, where there was a big Pokemon presentation, and they revealed like Pokemon Cafe Mix, which turned out to be a game that you have to play touchscreen, and I was gonna do that for the YouTube channel, but I don't have the means to record that in a pretty fashion. I don't have the right capture card to do that. But we also got news of a new Pokemon Snap game called New Pokemon Snap, so that was cool. But this was saved for a separate thing. and it's called Pokemon Unite. And it's basically Pokemon's version of League of Legends, if I'm making the right comparison. I've never played League of Legends. It's interesting, but I've just never I don't know, games like that. I'm not sure how I feel about it. But I'm willing to try it. But this game actually looks really cool, but unfortunately it comes with some bad news based on who's involved. And I hope that the issues there get resolved, or, something happens so that there's no, concern about privacy or some of the other things that were going around. Because, like I said, I don't want the show to be too much of a downer show. But as a game, this looks fun. I would try this. It's interesting to see, how many different ways that they're coming up with to let people battle Pokemon that isn't just the traditional Pokemon battling thing from the main series. But this looks cool. You can evolve your Pokemon. You can catch wild Pokemon. I would like to see more of this. Like, I want to know how many Pokemon are in the game. Like, are they all going to be in the game? I don't imagine there would, but I don't know. I'd be curious to know what they would do with, like, say, legendary Pokemon showing up, in the game. And that, that would be an interesting idea. Like, in very rare circumstances, because, like, part of Pokemon is, randomness. Because you never know exactly what's going to show up. You don't know if you're going to get a shiny, as far as the main series game goes. If you're playing the trading card game, you never know what you're going to get in the pack. So, randomness is a thing. And if some legendary Pokemon can randomly show up at very rare, times, that could, swing momentum in a battle from one team to the other, like, on a dime. So that would be cool. That would be an interesting idea to explore. I kind of hope they'll do something like that with Pokemon Snap too, to make random encounters in that game work too. But anyway, there's not really much information about this. They kind of just dropped the info. It got some negative pushback from the development side. Hopefully those issues are worked out, because this looks like it could be a fun game. So, got high hopes. But let's move on to something else, because there really wasn't much to add to that. I just wanted to talk about it because I didn't talk about it before. But 2 games recently announced that they were going to go free to play, and I already downloaded one of them. The other one I don't think is actually gone free to play yet. The first one that is free to play now is Fantasy Strike, and it's a fighting game. I think it's available on all the systems and on Steam. I downloaded it through Steam. I haven't tried it yet, but it was one of those games I put on my wish list when I was going through, like, looking for interesting fighting games to play, because I figured, like, if, fighting games, as long as you can, when you do a playthrough of a game, like I did Mario, when you finish that, another playthrough is more content, but with fighting games, each fight can be vastly different. You could have 2 people playing the same game, playing the same characters, but the fight you end up with could be completely different. But that's not quite the same as, just playing like a platformer or any story mode of any game. Sure, there are things you can do differently. You could take different paths and stuff like that. But, you're not telling a new story. But at least with fighting games, in terms of, playing people, there's no story to tell. You're just playing. It's sort of like Fortnite, I guess you could say. There's not a, there's a story. I'm confusing things now, but you get what I'm talking about. It's the player versus player element. That's what I'm talking about. But this is a cool looking fighting game. Like I said, I wasn't sure when I was gonna buy this, but now that it's completely free to play, I'm hoping to check that out. I kind of want to check that out later today, actually. But it looks cool. They look like I have some pretty unique characters. The art, the character designs are pretty interesting. So that could be a lot of fun. The other game that was announced to be going free to play that is not quite yet, I don't think, is Rocket League. I've never played this. I really don't know much about it, other than it's what is it like? It's like soccer, but you're in like a Hot Wheels car or something. A little motorized, high energy Hot Wheels car. I don't know if you can customize the cars or not. That looked like it would be cool. I'm just basing that like off of this graphic I used, but But hey, free to play games, gives me a chance to bring more content to my channel, and to find other games that are free, like Destiny 2. Like I said, I don't play many shooter games, but I actually tried Destiny 2 recently, and I actually have enjoyed it, which is kind of weird because I couldn't Switch controller to work properly with Destiny 2. That's the only game I've had trouble with my Switch controller not wanting to work properly with Steam. All the other games I've played on Steam, Switch controller works fine. But this one, it was giving me trouble. So I decided to just play Destiny 2 with a keyboard. And I don't like keyboard gaming, but I was getting a feel for it. It's not too bad. It's just takes getting used to aiming with your mouse and using different keys. The problem for me is just remembering what key does what and trying to I'm pretty good with keyboards as far as like typing, so I should be able to handle that. But as far as Rocket League goes, I know this was popular for a little while. I don't know if it still is. I really don't know much about it, who plays it, what kind of audience it has. But it seems like a unique game, a racing sports game. Like not racing in the sense that it like racing itself is a sport. No, you're playing a different sport with a car. So it's a cool little idea. But being free to play, that'll be fun. Hopefully, I can be pretty good at it. So I'm always keeping an eye out for free games to play. I don't know if, like, I know Xbox, you can, if you have a gold account, you can get certain games for free. They every half a month, I think, they put up new free games. You could just snag them and keep them. And as long as you've got that gold account, I think you can play them. I'm not sure. I think some of them you have to have your gold account to play them. But you just got to keep an eye out. I snagged 2 different Tomb Raider games a while back on Steam for free. I got some weird indie game. I can't remember what it was called, like Headhunters or something. Something about Headhunters. Hold on, I can find that real quick. What was it called? It was called Head Snatchers. That was what it was called. I haven't got to play it, but it was free on Steam. And it just looked like something that would be interesting to try. So keep an eye out for free games. Injustice, the first Injustice game, that was free on Steam not too long ago. I actually just finished downloading that one. Crappy internet, makes things take a little while to download. But the weird thing about Injustice becoming a free game for on Steam for like 2 days was I had just bought like 2 or 3 days before that Injustice 2 on Xbox. It was cheap. It was $20. You get $20 for the game, and then $20 for all the DLC except for Dark Side. Which then, so I was like, okay, I'll pay $20 for this. Get everything but one character. That character's $5. Okay, I'll just get that character later. But they got me because the week after that, the full the ultimate edition of the game that did include Dark Side was on sale for $15. So they got me. But anyway, but it's all good. I'll buy Dark Side at some point, but at least now I can do I can check out the first Injustice before I check out the second one. So look forward to that one. So yeah, anytime there are certain Twitter accounts you can follow. They will give you a heads up whenever a game goes on sale or games, are free. I think what is it? I think it may be Epic. Is it Epic? They offer some of their games for free on PC every so often too. So go check that out. I think, what was it? Child of Light? It may not be Epic, I'm not sure. But yeah, just keep an eye out for free games. But free stuff's always fun. So this week, what was it? Thursday? Was it Thursday? They had the big presentation for the Xbox Series X. Microsoft did. Revealed some stuff, showed some stuff off. And the first thing I think they showed, well, this may not have been the first thing, but I feel like I missed some of this, or they didn't show it in the presentation. But anyway, I wanted to go over a few games that I saw over the last week that caught my eye, things that I would be interested in playing. There were some others, but I can't remember their names. I was going through a list of them that I've got pulled up, but I can't remember them. Anyway, it says you can like swap between worlds. I can't remember what that was called. I don't know. But like Tetris Effect Connected, like that was one. There were some others, but I don't want to spend too much time on that. There's no real need to explain what Tetris is. But anyway, first game that comes to mind, of course, think Xbox, Microsoft, is Halo, and they showed off gameplay for Halo Infinite. And for some reason, I did not notice that the graphic I grabbed for this has the eye cut out of the Infinite. There. That's better. I don't know if you can see it with this low quality internet, but it makes me happy. Anyway, I haven't played very many of the Halo games, except for like in like multiplayer with like my brother and my sister. That's about it. I've played online a few times with my brother, but it wasn't that I wasn't very good at it. But I would be interested in playing a game like this. I think if I remember the thing right, is it's supposed to be more open world. I saw some people complaining about the graphics. I mean, I didn't see anything wrong with the graphics. Something about so I don't know. I think people are way too fixated on realistic graphics in video games. I mean, I just don't. I don't think it's necessary. But this could be fun. I know this is like the big. This is gonna be the big one for Xbox when the new one launches. I don't know. I don't know. I want to check out Halo. I want to play some of the Halo games. I want to go back and play the old ones first, though, so I could get a better understanding of the story. Because I know, like, the first game was about the flood. I know about that. But if I'm not mistaken, after the first one, the flood's not really relevant anymore. So I don't know. Or maybe it's not the first one. Maybe it's the second one. See, I don't really know. But Halo was the first shooter game that I actually was like, interested in. So I definitely want to check out Halo Infinite. And like I said, I want to go back and I want to get the old Halos. I think the one I enjoyed the most playing may have been Halo 3. But like I said, I never played the first player modes. I think I started one once in Halo 2 or Halo 3. I started the story mode once, but I didn't get very far. I got stuck. And I just kind of was like, eh. And just didn't play the story mode anymore. But, that'll be interesting to keep an eye on. This next game, I didn't know about. I think I missed it in the presentation. It may not have been in the presentation. But it's a game called Everwild. And in this game, you, there's some crazy looking animals, but it looks like what you do, like you can, like one of the scenes in the trailer is is like where there's these four people doing a dance around what looks like a little deer fawn. So I don't know, I don't know if like your goal in this is to protect the animals as opposed to like say Pokemon where you're actually fighting animals. But that's interesting to see, how will that story kind of play out? Like there are bigger creatures. There are one looked like a giant salamander that basically looked like it birthed a whole lot of little babies by just puking them up out of its mouth. So I wonder if this is more like it looks like it could be a story about like, respecting nature and the beauty of nature and the natural world and the animals and stuff like that. Only, much more fantastical because these are, they look like animals from like Avatar, like the Last Airbender. Like, the animal hybrids. That's what they reminded me of, some of them. Like one of them looks like not that different. Like you could say could be inspired by Appa the Flying Bison. So that would be that's an interesting idea too. Like I said, it caught my eye and just visually. Like if you can show me a game that just looks interesting, the characters look interesting, the art design looks interesting, I'll want to check it out. But yeah, this is pretty. This is a good. This one caught my eye. It stood out. This one wasn't part of the presentation. This was just announced over Twitter. The next one, Bomb Rush Cyberfunk, which is supposed to be the spiritual successor to Jet Set Radio. Now, I remember Jet Set Radio from when the original Xbox was new. I played a little bit of it, didn't get very far, but I liked the visuals. And really a game, and I think some of the people from Jet Set worked on this game. I'm not sure. Like, people were claiming it's like the spiritual successor, but like, what does that really mean? Is this supposed to be like a tie-in? Like, is this a sequel in some way? Or is it just like, hey, it's the same game, it's the same idea, we're just calling it something a little different? Clearly the name is inspired by Cyberfunk, Jet Set Radio, of course it is. So my thought on this is like, okay, is this going to be basically the exact same game? Is it just like the next Jet Set Radio game? Or is it just inspired by it? From the looks of from the trailer, I'd say it looks just like this is the next Jet Set Radio. Like people said that about like Ukulele was the spiritual successor to Banjo-Kazooie. And I get that, but I think this is more of like a direct no, this is just the next in line. This is something that's similar. It's something similar but different. This looks like it's the next step. You know what I mean? So, I mean, the art style, I love this art style. The cell shading, I guess it's cell shading. I don't know. cartoony, exaggerated style. I like when games stand out like that. I like when something stands out visually. I don't need, video games, to win me over. Show me more stuff like this where people are experimenting with, with their art. Because that's what I've always liked about games. Like there's a place like I can appreciate like the grittier look to like say The Legend of Zelda Twilight Princess, but I don't like. But I also like that they did Wind Waker the way they did. There's nothing wrong with Wind Waker looking the way it did, with the toon aesthetic that they did. I mean, they've kind of married the two, I think, over Skyward Sword and Breath of the Wild. It looks like they wanted to give a more mature sort of hero or setting, but retain a cartoony feel to it. But I think they work. But anyway, this could be fun. Like I said, everything I remember about Jet Set Radio seems like this is just another game. Almost like you could just say they remade the first game. This is what this feels more like. It feels more like a remake than like a this is sort of similar but not the same. Like that's what it seems to me. But anyway, that'll be cool to check out. It was a game that I missed called Exomecha, where it looks like a first person shooter, but you're in a giant robot. But from the trailer I saw, I couldn't tell if like there's different sizes of robots, and some of them are on your side and some of them are not. I saw just a regular giant guy with a sword, but then there was also a giant spider robot and a giant flying dragon robot, if you can see in this thing. But the only one I could tell that you were controlling was a smaller giant robot with a gun. So that actually looks fun. Like, giant robot games are fun. But this looks cool. I wonder if you can control the other ones, or if you only get the shooter robot and then you just have to rely on the bigger ones to, or have to fight them. Like, it would be interesting if, like, you have a bunch of players or your shooters and they can attack from a distance, but then there's one player who has the biggest giant swordsman robot or the dragon robot, and they have to resort to a specific way to fight. Now, obviously, in that case, every robot would have its own strengths and weaknesses, so the balancing would be interesting, given that some of them would be much smaller than others. But games, that's any game. A bigger character is going to have certain advantages over a smaller character, but vice versa as well. Smaller characters will have advantages over a bigger character, such as if you can play as one of these giant robots, you can't the really big ones, you can't hide. There's nowhere to hide. But maybe the smaller robots you can get into places and hide and attack, while not being seen. But that's an interesting looking game, and that's just based off of the quick trailer I watched. The next game I saw that stood out, I watched this trailer, is Balan Wonderworld. I saw this trailer, and this seems to be being described. I think this one, because I saw this term. It said that there was a game out there that looks like the spiritual successor to what was it, Dream or Dreams in Night, or what is that game called? The Sega game. I've never played that game. I know I see the little mascot guy, little purple guy, the little purple character from that game. Dreams into Sleep, I think that's what it's called. I don't watching this trailer, the art style alone got me, but it does seem interesting. I think, hang on, let me see what this says. Yeah, the way this game works is you get like a ton of costumes, and each costume has a unique ability to it that you can use to progress through through the game. So I guess you just have to like trial and error, through trial and error, figure out what you got to do to get from point A to point B, and then to point C and to point D, and But the characters look really cool, and that idea, where you can just swap between costumes. I guess that's how it would work. Is you just have you get certain costumes, you unlock more as you play, and then you just figure out what you got to do. But that's an interesting game. Another of those spiritual successor, sort of deals. Uh, the one, and then next, the one game that I saw in that whole big presentation, from the Xbox thing that I do remember was definitely in it, was for the Gunk. And this stood out to me visually, just like this idea of this character, the girl that's I guess this is the main character, is going around with this big, it's like a high tech vacuum that sucks up this weird material, sort of like it actually looks a lot like going back to Zelda again. Wait, what is it called? That ooze, Ganon's ooze, that's malice, yeah. So that black ooze that's basically like that is made of Ganon, that I got it backwards. That Ganon's made of. It's just basically his pure dark essence, and it looks like just weird magical goo, like Ivan Ooze, old Power Rangers movie villain. That's what it looks like. She's cleaning up, and you can like absorb some of it into or vacuum it up, and then it opens up a path, and you can just walk right between it. But then there was a monster that looks like it came out of that stuff. So that's an interesting thing. It reminds me a little bit about the way like you could play Mario Sunshine and the magic paint, the magic, goop from that game where you had to clean it up. So that looks like it's a similar idea, maybe. It reminded me of a story I was working on in a little personal game project I was doing in Project Spark a few years back, involving some like weird infectious material. I started actually writing that story. I called it Corruption, but and monsters were born out of that goop too. But it could be different. It could be that this monster actually is causing the goop as opposed to the goop actually caused the monster. But visually this game, and which I think that was another reason why this game reminded me of my own Project Spark project, was because this game looks like the visuals reminded me of Project Spark. Not 100%, but it just reminded me of that, of the way those character models from that whole deal were made. But this looks, of course, way better than my game. I oughta re-download that and play around with it some more just for fun. But anyway, but those were all the games that I saw this week that I thought were interesting. There were some more, but I think these were the ones that stood out the most. And so I think there's gonna be some good games. You combine that with stuff they're doing over at Sony and the games they announced over there, and then of course Nintendo's got stuff coming. Paper Mario just launched. I decided to hold off on that. The reviews for that weren't bad, but they weren't like super like, oh, this is a must play game. But I want to give that one a try. But and there's stuff coming. I'm still trying to figure out what Nintendo's gonna do. They did a Nintendo Direct Mini that I completely forgotten about. And I know people were ultimately very disappointed in it, even though it was only supposed to be 10 minutes. And I think people let themselves get too excited because it's been months since we've had a proper Nintendo Direct, and then they announced one, and it's just a mini Direct, and they announced what 4 or 5 things, and some of them that I think we had already known about. But anyway, hopefully we get something big from Nintendo. I want to see a big Nintendo Direct before summer's over with. That's just me. But I know that they were saying, like, the whole situation with the COVID-19 makes things, a little bit more difficult. But hopefully they can work something out and get one good, really big Nintendo Direct before summer is over with. Because I think that would make people happy. Also, I saw something that's I'm just throwing this in before I move on to the last topic. Some Mario gaming chairs. I don't have that picture pulled up, but apparently in the UK they're going to get some gamer chairs that have Mario characters on them. I saw one. There's like some little kids chairs, like real low to the ground, and you just sit in them. It's got Mario, Peach, and Luigi, and they're red, pink, and green. But then there's one that's actually like a more of like, I don't know whether to say a pro gamer chair. I guess that would be the right word for it because it's got speakers and everything in it. But that's white and blue mostly. I think it's a little bit red in there, but it's got Mario on the back, and on the very bottom of it, where your legs are, it's got Super Mario. In the big, of course, traditional Super Mario, font and everything. It looks really cool. If I was going to get a gaming chair, I want it to be that one. So that's fun. But anyway, moving on to the last topic. This one kind of came out of nowhere. Nobody was really expecting this. But this isn't about a game specifically. But apparently G4 is coming back as an online sort of I don't really know what to call it. I don't think network's the right word, but it could be like a channel, a gaming channel or site. I mean, I guess you could put it on Twitch or something. But yesterday, the Attack of the Show, which was an old show on G4, and X-Play, another old show, which X-Play was hosted by Adam Sessler and Morgan Webb. I remember watching those, which my favorite thing on G4 was always Cinematech, which was just a show, it was just a collection of game trailers. That was all it was. But the first time I ever saw G4 or came across it was when I was on vacation as a little kid, and it was just flipping through TV, the TV. We were hanging out in the hotel room waiting to go do something, and I came across a channel talking about video games, running video game trailers. I was like, hey, this is cool. And then at night, they ran some anime. The only one I remember they ran was Gungrave. That's the only anime I remember from that, because I didn't have G4 for a while. I got it later, and I'd watch the E3 presentations there, and that was so fun. A whole weekend and a few extra days of just G4 dedicating everything to E3. That was such a fun time. I think that was around the time. That I had it and I could watch it at home. When the Wii was out. So we're talking like 13, 14 years ago. I think. I mean, don't hold me to that. That could be completely wrong. But yeah, that was a fun time to have G4. Like I said, I liked Cinematech so I could watch game trailers. That was how I found out that there was a Street Fighter 2 animated film. They ran a clip from that because it was in with the Street Fighter anniversary collection for the 20th anniversary, which had Street Fighter 2, a Super Street Fighter 2, I think it was, had all the characters, and you could play in their different. You could pit different versions of each character against them from Street Fighter 2. And then they had Street Fighter 3 Third Strike. But that collection of that also included an edited version of the Street Fighter 2 animated, anime film. So that was how I learned about that film and got that game. But there were also some other games in there, and like I said, X Play was always fun. They talk about stuff, gaming, I think Attack of the Show. They did some skits there. I don't remember much else about that other than that was my favorite things to watch on there, because I know after a while they got like heavy into Cops reruns and some other stuff that I felt like just wasn't appropriate for that network. And at one point, I think that was all G4 was. Right before they canned it was just Cops reruns. So I don't know what to expect of this. Somebody said it on Twitter that I can't remember who it was. It said that G4 coming back in 2020 when gaming is what it is. I mean, gaming is huge, so theoretically, anything involving video games should be able to, especially something that had a previously, what's the word I'm looking for? The G4 already had a fan base. People love that, and people miss it. So it coming back, I kind of liken this to Toonami in a way coming back, as it was niche and underground, I think, but also has that potential to appeal to people. And especially nowadays where everybody plays video games except for like old politicians. Those are the only people that don't play video games in the world. But like, this should work. It should. But it could also be a tremendous failure depending on what direction they want to go with it. I mean, I think if you try to capture that classic, if you try to go for what people remember the most about G4, as far as, what they liked, like, I haven't seen anything to suggest that. I saw Morgan Webb and Adam Sessler both acknowledged that the trailer had come out, that the original announcement teaser that G4 was coming back, that X-Play and Attack of the Shows, those two Twitter accounts were inactive for a long time, Attack of the Show and X-Play. But they both tweeted out the same announcement trailer that just ends. It shows off a Pong game. Apparently, there's some lore in there about G4 where they launched with a Pong game, and then the Pong game was still going when they went off the air. And then this teaser that went up last night shows the Pong game was still going, and of course the tagline for it was "We never stopped playing." So that was a cool thing. Even though I wasn't aware of the lore, that's a pretty cool way to announce you're returning. And then it shows the G4 logo and shows 2021, so that means it's coming back next year. And then it ends with that old sound bite whenever the G4 logo would come to try to recreate it because it's too metally sounding. It's got a metallic twang to it. It would be terrible for me to try to recreate that. But you know what I'm talking about if you've ever watched G4. But I don't know. I didn't see anything suggest that Adam Sessler and Morgan Webb are involved. They acknowledged that they were, they had seen the teasers. I would like to hope if they're bringing X-Play back, they would want to bring back Adam and Morgan. I don't know why they wouldn't. Or even if they don't use them in that iteration of X-Play, bring them back, have them involved in something. I saw some Twitter accounts say that there were some folks, I'm assuming with Attack of the Show, that are going to be working on this new version of it. I don't know. Like, at first I thought, is this going to be a TV network again? Is it going to be like some kind of like block on something? But apparently it's going to be web-based, not TV-based, and that's probably for the better, even though I would personally love to have seen a gaming network on TV again. I don't know what to expect of this. I have high hopes for it, or at least I have hopes that it will be entertaining. A place to showcase games. I understand, like, I saw somebody say that like streamers and YouTube have replaced G4, and I think that that's not necessarily completely a good thing. Um, so if we can get, a channel like G4 to come back and have like an official outlet for discussing video games and stuff like that, and maybe inviting streamers on to play and or to show off demos or stuff like that, which, like I said, I know this already exists because of streamers, and they're sort of like their own, like there are thousands, maybe millions of, anybody can be a streamer. I mean, I upload content every day now on YouTube, 15 minutes to 20 minutes worth of video. So anybody can do this, but yeah, if you have the presentation's what matters. And if it's done right, I think this could be a very successful revival. Toonami's been back since 2012. They've been around for 8 years. The original run of Toonami was 11 years. So 3 more years and they will have matched their previous incarnation. So, I mean, I would say this Toonami revival was a humongous success. They're still on the air. They're still making content. I mean, they're supposed to announce stuff tonight at Adult Swim Con. So there's stuff going on. Nostalgia can make or break something, but I think there's enough, like I said, I think G4 and Toonami share that, in that there's a lot of desire. There's a lot of people who wanted to see this come back over the years and wished it would come back. Now it's coming back. Will it live up to expectations? Who knows? Maybe it will, maybe it won't. But I'm willing to try to stay hopeful that it will. Because, like I said, my favorite things about it was always watching the E3 announcements over there, and I don't think we're going to have an E3 to do that anymore. But if there's a way that they can, like I'm just trying to think of an idea, like what could we see? Like if there was some sort of program where, and I'm just pulling their names out again, but say, like there's a Nintendo Direct announced. What if G4 is, streams a live reaction to that, where maybe you have Adam Sessler or Morgan Webb or somebody of that sort of, or somebody else in that role doing a live reaction, and providing live feedback to what they're seeing, as long as it's somebody that has, authority or knowledge of games, that you could trust their opinion, because a lot of people just, at least I do, I watch reactions to different viewers, see how they react. I know some people like over the top reactions sometimes, but but it would be interesting to see people like that. I saw Xavier Woods, Austin Creed from Up Up Down Down, WWE wrestler. He put out an open call to get involved with G4. He said, "Hey, call me up. I'm willing to do, if you've got an idea for me, I'm for it." He put that out there. I mean, I kind of can't, who better, in terms of celebrity status, who's a known gamer, to get involved with this than him. He built his own, gaming channel from scratch. And it's been incredibly successful. So, I say, why not? And there's plenty of other people in gaming that have a huge fan base that could get involved and, help this thing grow. So, I have high hopes for this. I think if enough love, is put into it and people don't go too crazy about it, that it can work in 2020, even though, everybody and their mother is a gaming streamer nowadays. That doesn't mean that this can't work. So, I hope it will work. I'm going to try to stay positive about it. Keep my eye out. I've already gone back and at one point I was following Morgan and Adam, and then I cleaned out my Twitter feed I unfollowed them for a while, which I do sometimes. I'll just decide, I'm following too many people. Let me just cut a few out. But I went back and I refollowed Morgan and Adam. I follow the Attack of the Show and X Play and the official G4 accounts, so I can try to stay up to date on whatever happens. But I'm gonna stay positive on that one. And in that note, that is where we will end this today's show. So anyway, there was a lot of gaming stuff came out this week. I know they're doing the Jeff Knightley. They're doing this whole big summer of games. Alf showed up during something and claimed to have been the creator of Hatsune Miku. So it's fun. I love stupid stuff like that, like Alf coming out. Like, why Alf? What does Alf have to do with games? Who thought to have Alf declare he had originally created Hatsune Miku? I mean, that's just, it's dumb. It makes no sense, but I love that stuff. But anyway, that's the end of the show. Don't know, depending on what gets announced through the week, may come back next week, may come back the week after that. So who knows? And I guess I should just plug my stuff. I feel bad about doing that sometimes though. But anyway, like and subscribe my YouTube channel. Like I said, my subscriber goal I've got up there is 25. If we make it to 25, we're doing a pacifist run, pacifist day in Fortnite. No guns, no bombs, nothing. Just straight survival. And I've got little ideas for that planned. You can like this Twitch channel too if you want. Subscribe and follow me on there. Follow me on Twitter. I have a Ko-fi, or is it Coffee, page where you can donate to the channel. I think it's $3 to buy me a coffee over Ko-fi, or coffee over coffee, whatever the name of the app actually is. So I would appreciate that too. It'll help me grow the channel. Maybe buy, like I said, I could buy more stuff to make this better. I mentioned the video that dropped at 12 earlier. The first part of my Facebreakers playthrough. Go check that out. This week it was a week of Killer Instinct videos. Go check that out. I put up 2 random Fortnite videos too of some crazy moments that were happening in the game involving loot sharks. You can go check those out too. Next week on the YouTube channel, I think is going to, I'm not completely decided yet, but it's either going to be, I think what it's going to be is going to be me showing off Min Min in Smash, her classic mode and her spirit board, like I did with Byleth. That's 3 videos I had to do. I got hung up in the spirit board, and that ended up being 2 separate videos. So that's coming. I've got some indie games, some free-to-play indie games I played a while back. I think those are going to come after that. But we'll see. Just depends on my mood. Anyway, thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed it. Hopefully we'll have some more good things to talk about in the future, and maybe it won't be quite so long between the next episode. But thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time.
Do the Mario, swing your arms from side to side. Come on, it's time to go. Do the Mario, take 1 step, and then again, let's do the Mario all together now. You got it. It's the Mario. Do the Mario, swing your arms from side to side. Come on, it's time to go. Do the Mario, take 1 step, and then again, let's do the Mario all together now.